Before we dive into today's episode, we want to provide a quick discretion notice. Spirits with Crime is a podcast that explores true crime and paranormal stories, often delving into unsettling and sometimes disturbing subject matter. The content we discuss may not be suitable for all audiences, and listener discretion is advised.
While we strive to present these stories with respect and sensitivity, we understand that they may evoke strong emotions or discomfort. We encourage you to care for your well-being and pause or skip any segments that you find distressing.
Many of the topics we discuss are based on real-life events, and we make every effort to provide accurate information. However, due to the nature of the subjects, details may vary or be subject to differing interpretations. We encourage further research and exploration for a comprehensive understanding of the stories we present.
Lastly, our themed cocktails are meant to enhance the overall experience and provide a unique connection to the episode's topic. We remind you to drink responsibly and be aware of your own limits. Never drink and drive. Enjoy the episode.
Hey guys, so this week for the Long Island serial killer episode, we crafted a Long Island iced tea. We do not discuss it in the YouTube video or the audio, so we made this video for you. If you're interested in learning more, go ahead and take a look at our social media. We'll have the recipe posted and we'll have some examples posted on TikTok. Thanks, enjoy the episode.
Anyways, moving on. Hello, spooky people. There's been a lot of talk about the Long Island serial killer being found. And I thought this would be the perfect time to go deep into like the actual story of what happened before and just get you guys like caught up. Personally, never heard of this serial killer or any of these incidents.
Honestly, me neither.
Never heard of it.
My mom texted me when he had been caught, and she used the abbreviation like LISK, and I was like, what the
Who the
heck
hell
is
is a
that?
LISK?
I was like, huh? She's like, she just sent me a text message like, the LISK was caught, and I was like, what?
Are you trying to say risk?
And then I had to look it up, and I was like, oh.
Yeah. Well, when you told me
Sorry,
LISK, I was like, I've been doing research on this for like a week and a half, and I still don't know what LISK means. But whatever.
Long Island serial killer.
I know, I realize that obviously, but... Anyways, it seems to be a huge topic of discussion at the moment, so hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Again, I in no way want to exploit any families or anything like that. I am not trying to do anything like that because I found all this information online, so it's not my fault.
Do your own research. It's in our disclaimer.
So, we're going to start here. Long Island, New Jersey, May 2010. I don't know if her name is Shannon or Shanann.
It's probably Shannon.
I know, but it's spelled the same way as Shanann.
Oh, then it's probably Shanann.
Fuck. I have no idea. Shanann Gilbert goes missing. She's a 24-year-old escort. She went missing after her driver dropped her off to meet with a client named Joseph Brewer. The driver and Shannon or Shanann had never met this guy and were familiar with the area. Shannon makes a 911 call, and the driver and Joseph can be heard in the call. The driver asks Shannon if she's okay. But
you're just gonna need to pick one or the other.
No, fuck, I don't know. I'm gonna go Shannon.
Okay.
You can't make out what Joseph is saying. Both of them were heard trying to get Shannon out of Joseph's house. Shannon asks Joseph if he's going to kill her.
Joseph is the client?
Yeah.
Okay.
Joseph asks her if she's crazy and says that she's freaking him out.
Okay.
The driver suggests going back to Manhattan, but tells Shannon, oh no, just kidding. But Shannon tells him no and begs him to get her out of Joseph's house.
Okay.
It's a weird situation here, not really.
Sounds weird.
Yeah,
Look, we just got right into it.
I'm not 100% sure exactly what the details are, but this is what I read, so this is what we're going with. Shannon's voice sounded really paranoid during this time.
During the 911 call?
Yeah. And also, like, during telling... Well, the 911 call is, like, 15 minutes long. Like, it's really long.
Oh.
But Shannon finally runs out of Joseph's house and goes to a neighbor named Gus Coletti. Shannon's still on the phone with 911. So, yeah, it's like a 15-20 minute call, dude. Which is really long for 911. You would expect that someone would be there at that time.
After 15 minutes.
Yeah, but no. Shannon is still on the phone with 911. Gus is heard asking Shannon if she's okay, to which she replies, breathing really hard, I need help. Then she runs out the door. 911 call ends. This call was released in May 2022.
Oh.
Yeah.
12 years later?
Yep. Oh, just wait. Gus then calls 911 at 5:22 a.m., telling the police that Shannon was running around screaming about some guy trying to follow her.
Wait,
this
sounds
guy,
familiar.
This guy is Shannon's driver.
Oh. This sounds, yeah, okay.
Yeah, because
no, I know this story.
You probably know it, yeah.
Yeah.
Gus sees them together, tells the police he'll keep an eye on until the authorities come. Then Shannon knocks on another neighbor's door, but this neighbor doesn't let her in, but calls 911 to report her.
Okay. Fair
And
enough.
says Shannon said that she was in danger. Shannon then runs off.
Okay.
Investigators think she got lost in marsh reeds. They would grow up to 12 feet at this time of year.
Oh my god.
And they would block the view of the highways, streets, obviously, like
And it's like
houses.
marsh too.
Yeah, it's a marsh.
That's terrifying,
yeah,
actually.
Fucking horrifying. Some of Shannon's belongings were found near a trench in that area. And also, I hate to say it, but she's an escort. Police don't look into that shit.
That's true.
They don't.
They never do.
They never do. I'm like, why, like, whatever. Anyways. Police respond to the 911 calls. But by the time they get there, nobody is there anymore.
Well,
I'm like, you have a fucking 15 to 20 minute call.
It's been 20 minutes.
You have a 15 to 20 minute call with someone and you're not going to show up?
You either leave or you're dead.
No, it's pathetic. But
if there's danger, obviously. But
the driver's car was gone too. So investigators assumed she had been driven away.
That's dumb.
This assumption delayed the search.
Of course. And the bodyguard was just like, whatever.
The driver?
Oh yeah, sorry.
I guess.
He just drove away and was like, I'm not even gonna talk to the police.
I have no idea. Well, she was running around knocking on neighbors' doors. I guess he couldn't contain her, so...
But
I mean, dude,
I feel like I would still be like, I would contact the police, like,
dude,
hey.
you're just a driver. Like, you're not gonna go this bitch around to fucking knocking on neighbors' doors.
Listen, Chad and I saw this movie. It has fucking Megan Fox in it, and Sydney Sweeney, and someone else that I forgot. What's it called? Blood Teeth. Night Teeth? Night Teeth?
I have a quick question.
Yeah. Stupid.
Does Sydney Sweeney have a lazy eye? Did you
I
hear
don't know.
that noise?
I did.
That was weird.
She could. I don't know.
I don't know. It looks like she got a lazy eye to me. Wait, say it again. We're watching. Go.
Night Teeth, Blood.
Talking
Night
with
Teeth.
Debbie Ryan?
Oh yeah, that one.
Debbie Ryan!
She's in that movie too.
Oh,
I hate Debbie Ryan.
You came out and you're like, oh, is that Debbie Ryan?
Oh, did
we
I?
were watching that movie.
Oh, we
It
were
was
watching it at your house.
Oh, maybe I thought it was fucking Radio Rebel.
No, it was 19th. Anyway, spoilers. Debbie Ryan and this other lady are like vampires, and they have a driver who like drives them to all these places to so that they can conduct their business or whatever.
Okay.
But he ends up following them inside because like a police officer is like, you know, looking around for suspicious things. And he knows that something
suspicious.
He knows something suspicious is happening, but he doesn't know they're vampires. So he goes in and finds out, and then he's like held hostage because his brother's like in it, and his brother owns like the driver. It's an actually pretty good movie.
Sounds like Vampire Diaries.
No, it's not at all like Vampire Diaries.
What do you mean the brother goes to Mystic Falls and the other brother shows up?
Well, this brother was just like, let me drive your fucking car. It's a really nice car.
Let me drive the boat.
Yeah.
Okay, fair enough.
And he's like, I need to earn some money. So, but then he gets caught in all this shit. Anyway, my point is, drivers sometimes get into situations that they shouldn't be.
But if the
bitch only in the movies.
Dude, if the bitch you're driving is going and knocking on multiple neighbors' doors, you're not gonna follow her.
I'd
You kidding me?
call the police myself.
I don't know if I would.
If I was a police officer, I think you did it. You're just gonna drive away?
Yeah. All he is a driver.
I guess.
So he's going to drive.
I don't know. Aren't there jobs to like take care of who's in the car?
Nope.
Just
A security guard?
Point A to point B.
Yeah.
Alright.
That's what a driver is. Anyways, the Suffolk County Police Department makes an announcement that this was not a murder and most likely an accident.
Okay. Sounds familiar.
Oh yeah. Then we move on to December 11th, 2010. Human remains were found by a police officer and his police dog while training during a search for Shannon.
Was the police officer training or was just the dog training?
No, I don't know, maybe both. I have
That
no
would
idea.
suck.
Either way, it was a training and they found a dead body, so it sucks either way.
That's true.
But these remains belonged to Melissa Bartholomew.
Oh.
24-year-old escort. Last seen July 12th, 2009 in her apartment in the Bronx.
Where was she found?
She's one of the Go-Go Four. Here, I'll explain in a second. So, she told a friend she's gonna see a man and she'd be back in the morning. Cell phone records show that she traveled from the Bronx to Manhattan, likely via taxi.
Okay.
Melissa's mom hadn't heard from her in a few days, so she reported her missing on July 18th, 2009. She was found December 11th, 2010.
Okay. I thought you were going to say like 2020 or something.
Oh, no.
I was about to be like, Jesus
But
Christ.
still, dude, like,
yeah,
more than
yeah.
not more than 6 months later, like, that's foul. Anyways, after Melissa went missing, her younger sister was getting phone calls from someone. From Melissa's phone, taunting her.
Oh my god.
So fucked up. These were believed to come from the killer, obviously. The police tracked the phone and came up with nothing.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Someone's making active phone calls and you can't track it?
Well, there's a whole, like, I'll explain a little bit later, but there's a whole, like, there's, like, a scandal with the people that did the investigation originally. There's a whole scandal, and eventually the, like, head investigator gets fucking arrested for stuff. Like, it's a whole scandal. Like, it's gnarly. That's why it took so long to figure him out, because the original team were fucking frauds.
That's why I don't trust police officers.
No, they suck. Anyways, December 13th, 2 days later, 2010, Suffolk County Police find remains of 3 other women
All
around
at once?
the same area.
Oh my god.
Yes. Maureen Brainerd Barnes, I'm sorry if I butchered that, Megan Waterman and Amber Costello. Maybe it's Costello. I'm sorry. I don't know. So the first one, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, she was a 25-year-old sex worker. She was reported missing July 14th, 2007.
Oh my god.
At the time of her disappearance, she was with a girlfriend who went home early. The last communication was July 9th to call a friend in Connecticut. She was reported missing July 14th. So, then we have Megan Waterman. She was 22, and she was a victim of sex trafficking. She had a 3-year-old daughter. She was last seen by her family boarding a New York-bound Trailway bus in Maine, June 6th. She was with someone that they assume was her pimp. She was reported missing June 8th, 2010 by her family. So that was a way closer, you know? But then we have Amber Lynn Costello. She was a 27-year-old sex worker addicted to heroin. And she lived with 2 guys and a girl. So he's preying on these girls.
Yeah.
She lived with 2 guys and a girl when they had in-calls, which is when the client comes to her house and the men would hide that lived with her.
Oh.
And then show up and scam the clients. Claiming to be her boyfriend.
Oh my god.
And then before
That's pretty
any
smart.
sexual acts were performed,
That's pretty
then
smart.
stealing their
Wow.
fucking money. I mean, you want to hire a sex worker? Then yeah. I feel like that's fair.
Fair enough.
I think it's fair. She was last seen leaving her house September 2nd, 2010 to meet a client.
Why would she not just always do in-house calls then?
Because she needed more money sometimes.
Hmm.
Because they won't pay her after they fucking steal from her.
That's true.
So she needs more money sometimes. But Amber shared a cell phone with her roommates and she didn't have it on her. So she was never reported missing.
What? What do you mean?
She was never reported missing.
They never reported it?
Mm-mm. So, when the police
Well,
found Amber's body...
I guess what do you expect if if you live with a bunch of scammers?
Yeah. So, when the police found Amber's body, her roommate, Dave Scholar, went to the police with a description of the person he thought killed her and the truck that the potential killer was driving.
Okay.
Dave said that he came home to a stranger threatening Amber, she had locked herself in the bathroom. Dave and the stranger began fighting, then the stranger left in his truck. This was never looked into due to really shady stuff going on with the team assigned. So this man was never looked into, ever, because there was shady shit going on with the team that originally was looking at it, at the case. Now we have the Gilgo 4.
Okay.
So when when all 4 of these women's remains were found, they were called the Gilgo 4 because it was on Gilgo Beach in Long Island.
But they were found?
Yeah. And they were found like feet apart.
Okay.
Yeah. Megan Waterman, Amber Costello, Maureen Brainerd Barnes, and Melissa Bartholomew. They were found near Long Island's Gilgo Beach, days apart. The cause of death for these 4 women was determined homicidal violence.
Okay.
They were all found wrapped in burlap sacks. They said this was a strategy to speed up the decomposition process because in burlap, like the moisture and all that shit.
Rude.
Yeah. Now, moving on to March 29th, 2011. The rest of the remains of Jessica Taylor are found. This is a new person. Her skull, hands, and forearm. Police had found her torso July 26th, 2003.
On the beach? Or somewhere
No,
else?
I think this is somewhere else.
Like in the marsh?
because she's not part of the Gilgo 4, so I'm pretty sure it's something else, but they think that he has something to do with it. So her remains, the rest of her remains are found, because they found her torso, but they can't identify a friggin' torso in 2003. But she was found dismembered with her head and hands missing when they found her. Her tattoo had been gouged off. Jessica Taylor was a 20-year-old prostitute who had lived under the rule of her pimp for 3 years.
3 years?
Yeah, she wanted to escape that lifestyle, so she left her trip to Washington to escape it. And she was reported missing July 15th, 2003.
Did her family report her missing?
I'm not sure. But the police found her July 26th, 2003, so they must have reported her. Or someone did. April 4th, 2011. Oh, I guess we're going backwards. Whatever. The rest of the remains of Valerie Mack are found. 24-year-old escort, never reported missing. Last seen in summer of 2000 in New Jersey. Her torso was found in November of 2000, but she couldn't be identified.
Jesus.
Yeah. She wasn't identified until May 2020.
So, was he dismembering everybody or just those few?
So,
were the Gilgo 4 also dismembered like that?
I'll explain it a little bit later, but basically these bodies were found pretty similar, and obviously it was a very similar thing. So they're suspecting that he killed all these.
Okay.
But I'll explain later in the trial and all that. Well, not the trial yet, but the hearing. So the same day, the remains of a toddler were found near Valerie's remains, believed to be around 2 years old.
Her toddler?
Unidentified at this moment.
Oh my god.
We don't know whose toddler.
Still?
Later that day, the remains of an Asian male are found, not far from the other remains discovered.
Jesus.
These remains were never identified. Estimated to be between the ages of 17 to 23 when he died. Authorities believe he died 5 to 10 years before his remains were found.
Wow.
Yeah. Then we're moving to April 11th. So basically, we're going day by day. April 4th, they found 3 bodies, or 4. April 11th now, 2011. The partial remains of 2 more people are found.
God, that's 10 people already.
Jane Doe, number 3, aka Peaches, because she had a heart-shaped tattoo of a peach on her body.
That's kind of rude, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, her torso was discovered in 1997.
Who named her Peaches?
The police.
Did you say Bowser? That's fucking rude.
April 11, 2011, they find the partial remains because 1997 is when they found the torso. So these are very similar crimes. So everyone is thinking
Must be the same person.
must be the same guy, and I'm sure it is. But her skull has never been found, and her remains unidentified to this day. She was proven to be the mother of the toddler. Yeah.
Oh my god.
Terrible. Absolutely horrific. Jane Doe number 7 is found the same day, aka Fire Island Jane Doe.
Fired. Who's naming these people? Fired.
For real. Her skull was found this day. Her legs had been found in April of 1996.
1996.
We're in 2011, bro.
Okay. How? So.
Absurd.
It is absurd. Number 1. Number 2. Imagine the work that you have to fucking do to tie legs that you found in 1996 to some other part of a body that you found years later.
But they're already in the system because they were missing.
Okay, well imagine then even finding out
I mean,
that's a thing.
Yeah, that's fucking gnarly. But she's never been identified either. And there's a whole website that has, like...
Their pictures of what they might look like.
Yes, and, like, you know, obviously saying, like, if you know... Sorry, hold on. If you know who this person is, you know, kind of similar to the last case that I did, like... But, like, not as similar, because they can't make anything because her skull was never found, so... And you can't find a 2-year-old in the system, so... But their DNA, that was the mother. Fucked up.
Yeah.
Foul. Moving on to December 2011. Finally, Shannon's remains are found 3/4 of a mile from where she was last seen. An autopsy was inconclusive on both the manner and cause of death. Shannon's family hires a private pathologist in hopes of finding out what happened. Obviously, because the fucking police were sitting there saying, like, before, they were like, oh, she just got lost in the marsh.
I don't understand
like, bitch,
how your
what?
cause of death can be inconclusive.
Inconclusive. Well, I mean, this was... Oh, yeah, this wasn't even that long after.
I know
Fucking
sometimes
stupid.
there are situations where, like, maybe someone had, like, water in their lung or, like, liquid in their lungs, but then also, like, brain, like, trauma.
Like trauma. Yeah, blunt force trauma.
Blunt force trauma. And then it's inconclusive because you don't know which one came first, technically.
But this is, like... I don't know.
Yeah, it just seems weird.
Yeah.
Because, like...
Yeah.
Did you go into... Did the pathologist find anything?
So, the pathologist couldn't find enough evidence to define the cause of death. However, he did say there were signs on Shannon's remains consistent with manual strangulation. The investigators continued to tell everyone there was no evidence of anyone following Shannon into the marsh. They think she got lost in the marsh and died. Still, even after a pathologist said that. 9 years later, right? Yeah, that's 9. Police released new evidence and a website. This is the Gilgo website I'm talking about to help figure out the case. This included details about a belt that they found with the letters. It's either WH or HM. So we're not sure, but they believe the killer had used.
Okay.
They declined to say. Hannah Montana. They declined to say if it was used as a murder weapon.
Okay. But the pathologist said manual strangulation.
They did, yeah.
Like
the
with
pathologist said that, but they said it's a possibility. And that's why the other police said that they think she got lost in the marsh and died.
Okay.
January 16th, 2020. The police released... Oh, we already talked about that. They released, you know...
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, the belt. Then we move on to February 15th, 2002. 22.
Oh, I was like...
Moving on, 2020 to 2002.
Okay.
No. January 16th, 2020.
2?
It's a little confusing.
February.
January.
We already read that.
You're a cheater. No. Fraud. February 2022. The police created a task force to identify the killer or killers of the 11 victims found in 2010 and 2011. God. So now they got a new task force, fresh eyes, and nothing corrupted there.
Yeah. No more bullshitting.
Because, I mean, I feel like I should go into the corruption like in the next episode or something, because I can't go into this now because this is just too long. But March 2022, the police finally have a suspect, Rex Huerman.
What
He's
the fuck kind of name is that?
Straight up. Straight up.
What is his last name?
Huerman.
Human?
Okay, fine. You can look. You can cheat for 1 second.
Human.
That is not human. That's a Huerman.
Oh, there's an R.
And there's an E. Huerman.
Okay.
Whatever.
I take it back.
He's a 59-year-old architect, married father of 2. 6'6", 270 pounds.
Oh my god.
Yeah, he's a big man. No prior criminal history whatsoever.
Really?
Yeah. Decades ago, there was a tip that suggested he was involved in the murders. There was a general description of what he looked like and a make and a model of the car he drove. The police ignored this for 13 years.
Is this the guy?
The new task force went through all of the old evidence and made discoveries that had been missed.
Missed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
They re-interview a pimp, and the clues pointed to Rex. The pimp was Amber Costello's. When the murders first happened, he was interviewed and described... Oh, the pimp. Yeah. He described the killer as a bulky ogre who drove a distinctive Chevy Avalanche who was last seen with Amber. That's pretty fucking specific, bro.
What's wrong? You called him Shrek?
Yeah.
Pretty much, dude. He's pretty much Shrek with a fucking Chevy.
I mean, his name is Rex.
Dude. Police found the Chevy and did a thorough investigation of the truck and Rex's home. Billing records show that Rex would buy burner phones to meet with these women.
Mm-hmm.
The phone records show he was in the same location as the burner phones used to contact Melissa, Megan, and Amber.
Of course.
This was 3 of the Gilgo 4. Phone records also show Melissa's and Rex's phones traveling together. American Express records that were obtained also showed Google Pay payments from Rex to a Tinder account.
You can pay... Oh,
Oh.
like for premium?
I mean, he went by the name Andy on Tinder.
Was he paying for Tinder, or was he...
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
I mean,
okay. I was
Google-
like, you can pay someone on Tinder?
I mean, no.
I was like,
He was
since
paying
when?
for his own Tinder.
Okay.
He had Google payments from Rex to a Tinder account, his own.
I was almost like, what the fuck did I miss?
Yeah, no, it's not a prostitute site,
Well,
but
are you sure about that?
honestly, no, I'm not. But he went by the name Andy on Tinder, and one of the burner phone's numbers was registered to his account. The account was created. Yeah, the account was created January 15th, 2011.
Oh, when all this started. Kind of, yeah. Okay.
On the Tinder account, there were selfies of Rex that were obviously taken by himself.
Okay.
There were also burner emails discovered.
Oh.
One of the emails had thousands of
What
searches.
kind of burner phone is he fucking buying?
Dude, he's just buying
One
all
with
kinds.
email access?
No. He's doing a burner email as well.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
This was found on his burner email.
Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
thought you said on his burner phone.
No.
they found,
His
like-
burner
Got it.
was found linked
I was like,
to
is
the
he getting
Tinder
fucking
account.
iPhones?
No,
What's
the
happening?
burner phone was found linked to his Tinder account,
Okay.
and that's how they figured it out.
Got it.
Like,
Okay.
partly.
Okay.
But
Sorry, I'm like, is
No.
this guy rich?
then I said there was also burner emails discovered. So
Okay, got
one
it.
of the emails had thousands of searches related to sex workers, torture-related porn, child porn, and other sadistic things.
So even if they couldn't.
Okay. So there was also burner emails discovered. One of the emails had thousands of searches related to sex workers, torture-related porn, child porn, and other sadistic things. We already went through that. The email was also used to look up active and known serial killers, the disappearances and murders of Melissa, Amber, Maureen, and Megan, and a bunch of podcasts investigating the murders.
That's scary.
That alone is enough to fucking convict him, in my opinion.
I agree.
But
although I listen to a lot of podcasts and search a lot of weird things, so I don't know.
but you don't search fucking child porn and sadistic porn and all that weird shit. So then we have July 2022. I hope not.
Why are you laughing?
Because she does?
No!
So, July 2022, the police took 11 bottles from the trash outside of his home for testing.
That's a lot of bottles.
That's his truck, and those are the bottles. Just so you know.
We were historically accurate.
Oh, we can't even see it. Never mind.
Oh, well, you'll see it on Instagram.
Yeah. January 26th, 2023. The police find a pizza box thrown into the trash that belonged to Rex. They collect this.
Rookie mistake.
Yep. They collect this and run DNA tests on the leftover crust. Then moving on to February 24th, 2023.
You always have to eat your crust.
Dude, the crust is damn near the best part.
I agree.
I love the crust. If you like thin crust, you're a fucking freak.
I went out. I do like thin crust.
No!
But
You eat it too?
I used to only like thin crust.
Oh, you freak.
What do you mean I eat it? That's the whole fucking pizza.
Ew.
There's no extra crust part.
No, I need crust.
Well,
That sounds
as an adult,
disgusting
I've
when you
started
just say it with
getting
no
normal
context.
crust.
Okay. And
no more thin crust. But that's my story was that a few years ago, when I was a server and I was hanging out with some people, there was this guy. His name is Ivan. He is a really funny guy because he's really big and he likes to work out a lot. But I'm so sorry, very, very stupid.
love that.
He's got the beauty, but he did not have the brains.
Dude.
Anyway, that's not fair. He's probably very smart, but we were drinking, so he was not smart at the time. And we had gotten pizza, and one of our favorite people that we were hanging out with was the bartender. His name is Michael. Funniest guy I think I've ever hung out with, to be honest, because he would get fucking wasted and say the most off-the-wall shit. And that one time, we had just gone somewhere and we had gone back to Ivan's house and gotten pizza. And Michael, we were eating pizza. Ivan didn't eat his crust. And Michael was like, "Eat your crust, you fucking child."
Yeah. Dude, for real.
He walked across the room and saw his crust and was like, "Eat your crust."
Dude, for real.
Anyway, I still remember that.
No, for real. You gotta eat your crust, you freaks.
It was so funny.
No, that's fucking whack.
We bullied him about it for several months.
Moving on. February 24th, 2023. A forensic lab concluded that a hair found on Megan's body matched the DNA from one of the bottles that was taken from his house.
Rookie mistake.
Police believe the hair belonged to Rex's wife, who was out of town during the time of the murders.
What the hell?
A hair from Amber's remains was also tested and matched the DNA from a bottle. Prosecutors believe that...
From the wife, too? Or from him?
Prosecutors believe that the hairs got onto the bodies through items in his home that he had used during the murders, such as tape, burlap, vehicles, etc.
That associated with his wife?
I mean, if you have burlap sacks or tape or vehicles in, like... Obviously, your wife has been in your vehicle before.
Well, yeah, but the
so
sack?
Perhaps.
I mean, maybe she's like my mom and she saves those things.
Perhaps. Maybe she's a hoarder.
Maybe.
Who knows?
Hoarder.
Then we're moving on to May 19th, 2020. Then we're moving on to... Then we're moving on to May 19th, 2023. Rex is seen by surveillance buying minutes on another burner phone.
This year?
Yes! A few months ago.
Oh my god.
Moving on to June 12th.
After he knows he's being investigated?
No, he doesn't.
Oh,
Well, he knows he's being investigated, but he doesn't know that, like, people actually know.
Oh my god.
Yeah, no. I mean, you think police are just going to show up and take 11 bottles and a pizza crust from his goddamn trash can unidentified?
Was he there when they took those things?
Well, that's not legal.
Yeah, you can. If it's on the side of the street. Did they take it from inside his home?
I have no idea.
If it's on the sidewalk, it's public property.
Ooh, so maybe he did it that way. I don't know, who knows. But June 12th, the DNA from the pizza crust matched the DNA from the victims' bodies.
What DNA?
From the DNA bodies? From the DNA, the unidentified DNA that was on the bodies that belonged to the killer. I think,
sperm,
I think, scratch marks.
Oh, okay.
I think all that kind of stuff.
Got it, like skin.
But don't quote me on that. I'm not 100% sure. But July 13th, 2023. A few weeks ago. Rex is arrested at his home in connection with the murders of 3 of the Gilgo 4 women.
3?
Found.
Rude.
When arrested, he asked the police why and said he had nothing to do with it, then asked for a lawyer.
Why?
Then he asked, "Is it on the news?"
Oh my... Are you kidding me?
He pled not guilty.
What a
Moving
freak.
to July 14th,
Why?
2023.
Am I on the news? If I'm not, put me on the news.
Well, his family, dude. He's got 2 kids and a wife.
Of course you're on the news. Why would you have to ask that question?
I mean, who knows? I mean, he murders people. Why did he do that? Nobody knows.
He was literally labeled a serial killer. He was arrested for serial killer, crimes.
Yes, but the questions that he's asking, I feel like I would ask those questions. Why'd you even do it? Then he sits there and he asks, why am I here? I'm like, well, I feel like that's kind of the same thing. Like, why would you do it? Versus, why am I here? No, versus, hold on. Is it on the news? Sorry. Versus, is it on the news? No.
Things, Carley.
No. Why are you here versus, is it on the news? I'm like, that makes sense because you're here because you obviously know and you don't want your family to know that, but why did you do it?
Okay.
I feel like that makes sense. Anyways, July 14th, 2023, a grand jury indicted? I think that should be indicted. Yeah, I can't spell.
No, that's how you spell it. It's just pronounced indicted.
Fuck off. July 14th, 2023. A grand jury indicted Rex in connection with the murders of Amber, Melissa, and Megan. Suffolk County DA said the investigation for Rainer Bones is still ongoing.
But it was so similar to the other ones. Why?
Because there was no evidence.
Because of the fuckery.
Because of the fuckery with the fucking original goddamn team.
That's such fucking...
It's so...
blow to the balls.
No, for real, it is so fucked up. Like, I looked into it more, and I'm like, I need to cover an episode about this scandal, because it is so fucked up, dude.
That's horrible.
It is so fucked up. Let us know if you want an episode on that, because it's real fucked up.
I want an episode on that.
Perfect, then we'll make one. Anyways, July 19th, 2023, Rex's wife files for divorce. The police are seen carrying boxes of materials from the house he lived at for decades that was conveniently located right across from the bay where the bodies were found.
I'm sorry. He had a separate house?
No, he had multiple houses. He had one somewhere else.
So he did have money.
I mean, kinda. But these boxes contained over 200 firearms, a computer.
Over 200?
Yeah, a computer, a filing cabinet, and a large doll in a glass case, and other household items.
Annabelle?
For real, I'm like, the fuck you got a large doll in a glass case for?
Immediately arrested just for that. Why?
No, for real.
A filing cabinet?
Now we move on to July 24th, 2023.
Why is the doll in a glass case?
No idea.
How big is this doll?
I have no clue.
I need to see pictures of
Damn,
this.
I should have fucking looked it up.
Going.
July 24th, 2023. Investigators dig into Rex's backyard. Nothing of note is discovered so far, but also the police are very secretive, so we don't know. Some of Rex's former classmates are interviewed. Some are surprised, some are not, because he was arrested. So they wanted to interview and figure out,
for
like,
the news.
They wanted to figure out, like, did you think that he was a serial killer or whatever? Some of them were surprised, some were not.
No one thinks someone is a serial killer.
Yeah, they do.
Not all the time.
No, not all the time, but they
That's
wanted.
the point. That's
but
why
they
they're
wanted.
a serial killer.
But they wanted, like, you know, like evidence.
Mm.
And
Oh yeah, he was weird.
some are surprised, some are not. One person described him as being bullied and very quiet, but once he got bigger and taller, he became intimidating and could snap very easily.
That's how it always is.
That is the.
Oh my. What the fuck?
What is that?
The doll.
Ew.
Why does it look like that?
It doesn't even look like a doll. It looks like a human. Ew, I hate that.
Sorry, I had to look it up.
No, that's fine. More women are now coming out with stories of meeting Rex. 2 of them have audio recordings of him contacting them, but refused to meet with him. Now moving on to August 1st, 2023. This is last week. There's a 10-minute preliminary hearing. Suffolk County prosecutors say they have over 2,500 pages of evidence, including autopsy reports and photos of the crime scene. There's also hundreds of hours of recordings of Rex's house in Long Island and his office in Manhattan.
They were just recording his house?
Dude, yeah. Got hundreds of hours. Like, that's enough evidence, bro. But Rex is at the hearing. He did not speak. The next one will be September 27th. So we will be doing a follow-up after that, because I want to know, first of all. Okay, so now the police are interviewing former sex workers that are now incarcerated in an attempt to get more evidence. Rex's attorney told the public that Rex is traumatized by his sudden arrest and feels the media had already convicted him.
Oh, really?
I'm like, are you kidding me? Of course we already have. Freak.
You had torture and child porn.
Yeah.
And a creepy doll in a glass case.
Yeah. I'm sorry, those are recipes for a serial killer.
And you didn't fucking eat your crust. Okay?
And you don't eat crust. Yo, that's the bottom line.
Guilty. I don't know what to tell you.
Guilty. All I need is you don't eat your crust. But Dave Scholar, the one that like originally reported him, he was Amber Costello's roommate.
Yeah.
He tells the press he has been picturing his face for 13 years. He knew it was Rex.
Okay.
This is causing media to question why this tip wasn't looked into when it was first brought up.
We know why.
Yeah, because there were scandals. But Dave speaks out for the first time since Rex was arrested, and he says he had met with homicide detectives on multiple occasions during the year of the initial investigation. He had even picked out the exact model of the truck in a lineup. The exact model.
Are you kidding me?
Which is kind of like that, but not quite.
This makes me so angry.
I know, it makes me so fucking angry, dude. Are you kidding me? Like, someone literally sat there and described this man and his truck, pointed it out in a picture, And you didn't fucking bother?
It's just like the Night Stalker.
It makes me so angry.
That's exactly what happened with him, too.
Oh, it makes me so angry. Makes me so angry.
Oh my god.
Anyways, 2 high-ranking officials who were working on the original case very closely and said they never heard of anything about this witness statement describing the victim and the vehicle and the suspect. They never heard of it.
Of course not.
I'm like, first of all, that's a fucking lie. Second of all, what do you mean? You were working on it firsthand.
It's literally your job to ask if you didn't hear anything about it.
Fucking
anyway.
absurd. Fucking absurd. But now, the current DA, Ryan Tierney, says he doesn't know why this tip wasn't looked into sooner. And that it must have gotten lost with the other tips of information. Because you can't accuse another... You can't do that. As an investigator, you can't accuse another investigator of that. Like,
that's true.
You can't do that.
But also, you're looking into someone who's killed upwards of
11.
Yeah, upwards of 11, and you're losing evidence. So you're losing tips. Like, I don't understand how that's a thing that happens.
Well, because there was all these scandals going on in the beginning, and that's why they had a new task force. And as soon as the new task force was on, they figured it out in 3 years. I'm like, are you kidding me?
3 years is still a long time.
Yeah, but wait, no. It wasn't 3. Hold on. It was...
It was quicker than that, right?
No, hold on. It was...
Last year.
No, hold on. Yeah, it was last year in February. Sorry.
So it took a year.
My bad. It took them a year. Which is not that bad.
No, I mean...
Well, if you have a tip, I mean, you should figure that out fucking 20 years ago, but whatever.
2,500 pages of evidence.
Yeah, and also 11 bodies.
Also true.
Where they were all dismantled in the same fucking way.
Yeah.
Like, dismembered. They were all dismembered.
Just gonna gloss over it.
They were all dismembered in the same exact way. Where their limbs were cut off and their hands were cut off. Their limbs were cut off. Have you seen that?
Yes.
Anyways, if you're finding bodies in 1996 that are only fucking limbs, then all of a sudden you find a skull or whatever, or a torso, or the other way around, that's rough, dude. That's like, you should figure that shit out. Anyways, here we go. The current, oh no, I already said that. As I stated earlier, there were tons of scandals going on with the original task force. And if you want to hear about those, I can do an episode later. But for now, that's all I've got. And now you're caught up with the current news of the Long Island serial killer. I mean, there's definitely going to be more in the next week. Actually, maybe there won't.
I'm sure there will be.
There probably will be a little bit more, but I don't think there's going to be a lot more because he just had his preliminary hearing. And it was only 10 minutes long. And he didn't say a word.
I don't know, his lawyers might just be like...
No, his lawyer said that he's traumatized from being accused of this.
That's not going to work. They're probably going to advise him to take a plea deal eventually.
Yeah, eventually, but his trial isn't until September 27th. So, we're waiting for that.
It's a month away.
It's a month away.
They're going to have to decide.
Yeah.
And it already seems like there's enough evidence to prove that he's guilty.
Are you kidding me? This much evidence? This man isn't guilty? Shut the fuck up, bro. His wife divorces him. Oh, and it's so sad because his wife sits there and she's like, the police completely, like, destroyed my house and my children cry every night because they're so traumatized by this. It's so sad.
Yeah, I mean.
Anyways, we're all done here.
Okay. Don't
Order in the court!
Oh my god. Don't forget to check us out on social media.
Like and subscribe.
We have the video situation figured out, and so all our videos on YouTube will be
Much
better now. And we're also on Instagram, TikTok, Threads.
We're also on Twitter, but
Kind of.
we're not very active on that.
No.
But nobody is really active on Twitter anymore,
I
to
don't
be
know
fair.
how to use those, so.
I don't really either.
So we're trying our best, but check those out. Our website's also released, but still a work in progress, so I will leave the link in the video description and the podcast description for you guys if you're interested in taking a look. It has the cocktails that we've been making, it has the episodes, it has some glassware set up, but you know, we have to get all of those links in for you guys, so it's not completely up yet, but we're working on it. So.
The square and the earrings are going to take a little bit longer, and the decorations are going to take a little bit longer, but just be patient.
It is what it is.
It is what it is.
Alright, thanks for hanging out, guys.
Good night, spooky people.
Good night.